Today we are talking about percent change. And the basic calculation is that when you're calculating percent change, you are going to have the amount something has changed divided by its original amount. And I've got 5 practice problems to work through with you. So an example would be, let's say you had 500 songs on your phone and this year you have 600. Well, you have to ask yourself, what was the amount of change? Well, that's 600 minus 500 means that the amount of change was 100. And what was your original amount? 500. Simply in a calculator, this one will pop up, 100. You should hopefully be able to do this in your head. But 100 divided by 500 is 0.2. And as we learned from our previous example, 0.2 is 20%. That is the amount of songs that increased from one year to the next. So let's take an example that you go to a ball game and a Coca-Cola is $2, but then you go again, and the next time you go it's $2.25. So the amount of change, the amount that differs from the original, was a quarter, 0.2, and the original amount was $2. Same deal. Let's do 0.25 divided by $2. 0.125. So when we move the decimal place to convert to a percentage, 12.5%. Something you might be familiar with right now is sales tax. Oftentimes when you purchase things, not necessarily when you purchase them over the internet, but you have to pay local and state federal sales taxes. So let's say we had a $9 pizza and listed on the menu for $9. But when you get the bill says $9.54. And you're a little confused, but they tell you that's the tax, and you're curious, well, I wonder what the tax rate is, meaning what is the percentage rate that I'm paying? Well, go back to what we were doing with percentages. If it was $9 before, and it's $9.54 now, the price changed 54 cents, and the original price was $9. So, back to our handy calculator, and you get 0.06, which is 6%. And that's a little low. Actually, in Owens Paris, I think we're at 9.5% between state and local. I was interested to look at this. I noticed watch sales have fallen, and most of you probably realize they've fallen because less people use them now that they have cell phones in their pockets. But I noticed that there were 10 years ago 1.6 billion watches were sold, and last year in 2013, the most recent year I could get statistics, 1.2 billion watches were sold. So they're going down, but not nearly as fast as I would have thought. So those numbers, actually, when you look at them in totality, are very big. There's 1.6 billion is, and 1.2 billion is. So question is, how many did they change? Well, they changed 0.4 billion, and originally they were 1.6 billion. So 0.4 divided by 1.6 is 0.25, which is, so in this case, in the last 10 years, for example, the watch prices have fallen 25%. And then I got one more just to practice. Let's say I bought a Saints ticket for $80. And this was before the season's going well, there's more demand for tickets, so I resell it to someone else for $136. And I'm curious, I want to know what was my percentage gain. Well, we have to take the difference between what I sold it for and what I paid for it. So that's 6 and 56. So that's the change amount over original. Back to our handy calculator, 56 divided by 80. 0.7, so I had a 70% increase from what I paid for it. Okay?